Okay, next slide.
Diyan ka na. Uy. Kuya. Ani.
Okay, next slides. Okay. Again, good afternoon, members of the press. Thank you for coming. Today we will be briefing you on matters pertaining to the solution, as you well know, of the King case. Upon instructions of the DILG Secretary Mar Rojas, the Major Crimes Unit formed by the PNP recorded a significant breakthrough in the investigation of the June 12 murder of Cebu-based hotelier Richard King in Davao City, with the arrest of 4 suspects, including the gunman and the alleged mastermind. The DILG Secretary Mar Rojas extended the commendation of the national leadership to the PNP Special Investigation Task Group King and all its component units for achieving this textbook example of a systematic and methodical investigation aided by forensic science, proper police investigative procedure, and criminal intelligence, and fully supported by intelligence funding from the DILG. The PNP has created a major crimes unit under the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group as an anti-crime initiative of the DILG PNP leadership in response to the instructions of President Benigno S. Aquino III to stem the perceived tide of criminality, particularly high-profile crimes. A report to the PNP National Headquarters from the Regional Director of Police Regional Office 11, Chief Superintendent Wendy Rosario, who has honored us with his presence today, detailed the well-coordinated investigation and police action that led to the early solution of this high-profile murder case. At this juncture, I turn over the microphone and the floor to Police Chief Superintendent Wendy Rosario, the Regional Director of Pro 11 himself.
Good afternoon to everyone. I will be giving you a simple briefing on what we have done for the Richard Lim King case. Next slide. This is the order of my presentation, just a simple profile of the victim, the case background, and the chronology of events. Okay. Next. Okay, this is a victim's profile. He is 56 years old, married to Catherine, and as you can see, he has so many affiliations. And being the chairman of Vital C Health Products Incorporated, is based in Davao, and as the Prince Court Hotel and Suites. All others are based outside of Davao City. Next. So this is the background. On June 12, Richard Lim King was shot to death inside his Vital C building located at Sobricari and Lacson Streets in Obrero, Davao City. He was shot in front of his employees. He was there to attend a wellness training. So it's a combination of a wellness training. And actually, Mr. King is only staying in Davao at most 2 to 3 days, and twice or thrice a year. Next. So this is the chronology of events. On June 12, Davao City Police Office activated SITG Richard King, and what has been done, specific tasking of this member was discussed, and other matters were the possible motives or anger, and all persons of interest. Next. On June 13, a follow-up investigation by Santa Ana Police Station was made, and it was at the time that the 1.3 million pesos reward for information was made by the Honorable Mayor Duterte of Davao City. It was also on this day that the computerized facial composite sketch of suspect was made, and The CCTV footages were also collected, plus the cellular phones of the victim were subjected for forensic examination and analysis. Next. So it was on June 17, seeing the complexity of the case, we elevated the SITG to the regional headquarters because there are business interests of Richard King not located only in Davao, in Cebu and in Region 6, and I believe some Palawan Bata. And it was also on this day that the facial composite sketch was released by Regional Crime Lab of Region 11. Next. So we have a case conference in Region 11 which I presided, and I directed the CIDG to proceed to Cebu City to coordinate with our counterparts in Region 7 to gather more information, and also I directed the Chief of Police of Santa Ana again to proceed to Metro Manila, but more particularly in Centros Hospital, where the Helen Joe is confined or is under treatment. Next. From June 18 to 20, Davao City Police and Eastern Mindanao CIDU conducted follow investigation of the victim's profile. And on June 21, the Eastern Mindanao CIDU investigators attended a case conference in Region 7. This was presided actually by DCA, Deputy Director General Phil Rojas. And they discussed also the following: the victim's profile, possible angle or motives, and what other courses of actions to be taken. Now on June 22, as a report received by Davao City Police from operatives, this was actually upon an information from a tipster of a male suspect wearing t-shirt and brown pants somewhere along Maa Road, Davao City. It turned out to be Paul Dave Molina lamang, 24 years old, jobless, and a resident of Turil. He was arrested in possession of a caliber 45 pistol. And then this was followed by a text message. Meron tayong text message doon na isumbong mo kay City Director, stating that the arrest of the suspect was the same person who shot Mr. King at Little C. So he was placed on police lineup, and yung mga suspects that witnessed the shooting to death of King positively identified him. So next. So on June 23, Romel Escote de la Serna, these are brothers, surrendered. And through their statements, they identified one Superintendent Bernardo Pilonia as the one who hired them for the job. So, in short, after just yesterday, the suspect himself executed an extrajudicial confession at the prosecutor's office, stating therein, implicating therein Superintendent Pilonia. So, the same murder case was filed against Superintendent Pilonia, but only on a regular proceeding, and this was already documented. while the three suspects, including the gunman, an inquest proceeding was filed, so they are now under detention at Davao City Police Office. Thanks. So, basically, these are the pictures of the three suspects, including Colonel Pilona. So, next level. Oh, that's the end.
Balik yan, balik. Pakibalik yung last slide yan.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We'll now proceed, sir, to the open forum. Open for your questions. Alfred Allison of People's Forum, please. Captain, sir.
Sir, ano exactly yung role ni Superintendent Pelonio dyan sa sinasabi ng mga gunman?
Actually, ang nasa statement, hindi ko nabasa, no? But he is being identified as handler. Ang nagsabi niyan, si Paul Dave Molina Labang, who is the trigger man, corroborated by the two.
Sir, meron kasi mga ibang reports na kasama ron palagi yung superintendent yung gunman na magkasama sila sa shooting.
Hindi ko, I am not familiar with that, previous acquaintances nila. But I will just try to find out kung totoo ba niya.
Sir, gano'ng katiba yung evidence nyo kay Superintendent Pelonio?
Actually, the only thing standing between Pilonia and the suspect is the extrajudicial confession. It was done actually during the filing of the inquest proceedings. So, all other evidences, wala naman kami nahawakan because yun lang ang sinabi nung dami. That is why regular filing lang yun.
Sir, nasa na po siya?
I believe I informed already the IG. He is not in my command.
Any other question?
Sir, Trinidad, Sugar News. Sir,
Alicia,
yung motive
or
dun
Solar
sa, behind the murder case.
Ano yun?
Ano yung motive?
Actually, ang initial na tinutukan nilang motive is more on business problems or kasi nakita nyo naman yung napakarami niyang affiliation sa business interest, no? Hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin yung tinitingnan namin and we are just waiting for the results of some cell phones that are still to be recorded.
Pero sir, based dun sa confession, ano yung sinabi nung nilabang, ay doon niya pala na hindi nilabang na direct involvement ni Pelonia, ano yung...
I cannot answer. I did not see the statement.
Thank you.
Sir, si Ian po sa GMA7. Saan po ngayon naka-assign si Felonia, si Colonel Felonia?
Actually, he is assigned as the regional chief of Regional Intelligence Unit 11 under Intelligence Group.
Sir, under custody niyo lang po si Pelonia? Under custody na po si Pelonia?
Hawak niyo na lang po ba si Felonia, sir?
Nasa IG yun kasi.
Sa IG. I contacted the IG. Actually, pinag-report na siya dito sa Pakrame. And hindi ko pa alam kung ano yung latest.
What do you mean IG?
Intelligence Group.
Where?
Here.
Dito na siya, wala pa.
Hindi natin alam kung physically nandito siya, pero pinatawag na yata ng IG, ng intelligence group. Kasi yung regional, he was already relieved as Regional Chief of Regional Intelligence Unit, RIU 11. And And as last we know, he is en route here. We just don't know his exact physical location.
Leia Ilagan of UNTV. You're raising your hand.
Sir, since alam na po natin na yung motibo ay business, meron na po ba tayong idea o informasyon kung sino yung may question mark na nasa taas?
Isa lang yun sa anggulo yung business. We are still looking to some other possibilities kasi yun ang unang natutupan. But doon sa una, maybe ang SITG naman hindi pa huminto. We are still conducting deeper investigation kung ano talaga yung naging motibo. That's why
Sir, gano'n po hire po ba yung...
Excuse me, patapusin naman natin si Leia. Leia.
we still have to gather more doon sa mga forensics naman.
Pero sir, meron na po tayong tao na tinututukan talaga.
As of now, may mga person of interest tayo.
Sir, yung trumabaho po ba kay sa negosyante ay gun for hire group na to? At pag sinabing handler si Felonia, does that mean that he is a boss of this group?
Kindly repeat your question.
Kaya,
Safe po bang i-assume na yung mga bumarel, trumabaho doon sa negosyante ay gun for hire guys?
yes,
And pag sinabing handler si Felonia, does that mean that he is the big boss of those guys?
that's not follow naman siguro. But yung si Paul Dave Molina is a gun for hire.
Thank you. Ann Soberano from Moradio, please.
Sir, good afternoon. Ann Soberano, sir, sa Buong Radio. Sir, tanong ko lang, kasi kanina sa press release is may 1.3 million na reward. Since solved na po yung kaso, saan po napunta? Kanino po mapupunta? May ano na ba yung 1.3 million na reward?
Actually, yung reward came from the office of the mayor, no? Through the fund. So, I think sila yung magde-determine kung sino yung karapat-dapat na makatanggap. But of course, meron kasi tips na tayo.
Sir, kumusta yung moral ng Region 3 ngayon? Region 11, sorry. Region 11, sir. Considering na isang top officers ng region ang involved sa ganitong killing.
Actually, si Colonel Felonia is National Support Unit, not organic sa Region 11 na sinasabi nila. So, sa atin naman, sa lahat ng kabuuan ng kapulisan, we do not tolerate these things. Kaya, ayos naman ang moral namin sa Region 11.
Next, Cecil Suerte Philippine, Philippine Star.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, first, sabi po nila, illegal arrest yung nangyari dun sa tatlo kasi we're no longer in hot pursuit. Hinuli pa rin natin.
Palagi naman sinasabi ganun, but nasa ano na yan, the prosecutor accepted it. It will be determined by the court.
Sir, opo. Thank you, sir. Other than the testimonies of the witnesses, nag-confess po ba sila Molina Labang of his
Yes.
participation?
Yes,
And then siya din yung nag-connect kay Peronia.
yes.
So, are we saying that we have an airtight case against these people in connection dun sa killing ni King?
As far as we are concerned, yes.
Any other question? Sige, go ahead, Tricia.
Sir, clarification lang po ulit dun sa process ng pagka-identify dun sa tatlo. Kasi sabi after ng orthographic sketch na wala ako. After ma-determine, may records ba tayo talaga nitong tatlo na may background sila ng criminal cases before? Tapos paano ulit sila na-identify, na related, na sila yung pumatay dun? Aside from the witnesses' statements.
No. Ang una din kasi, there was a tip. No. So nahuli si Paul Labang in possession of firearm. That was the initial report. And then it was followed by another text. Na siya yung sinasabing gunman dun sa King. So what the Davao City Police did was to present him sa police lineup. Doon na siya na-identify. And resulta siguro ng may reward eh. I suspect na yung nag-tip, yun din yung nagsabi.
Thank you. Raymond Africa, wala yan.
Sir, nag-match ba yung barrel sa mga evidence na nakuha?
Wala pa kami report but we have submitted it already for
Other questions, sir? Are we going to... Okay, Ian Cruz,
Sir, gun for hire sila, magkano yung binayad daw?
Hindi ko makategorically sila masasabi dahil nasabi na like 20 million.
20 million, sir. So, ganun kalaki para sa ano bang at stake doon sa negosyo para malaking pera to?
Yun ang hahanapan natin. Yan ang titignan namin maigit. Yan ang come to that extent.
Iyan, remind lang natin info, sinabi ni Sir based on their, ang narinig lang nila, so it is a hearsay information na 20 million. Noted for the group yan, that is for the group including, I guess, from the mastermind.
No more questions? Are we entertaining other matters, sir?
Are there any concerns related to Region 11? Yeah, mission accomplished. Yes, okay, may habol lang.
Sir, ang report kasi nasa custody na raw ng SITG King si Superintendent, pero hindi niyo po alam kung nasa siya ngayon.
No, ang report are the three, ito ipaparay ko nga eh. The number 4 is mali. The three are only under our custody. The three, Villaserna Brothers and Labang. But si Pilonia is not under our custody.
Yes, we stand corrected. Kindly correct the number 4 entry.
Sir, saka sir, kailan po siya in-identify, nagbigay ng extrajudicial confession? Sino po doon sa tatlo?
As early as 24 ata.
Yesterday, sir.
24 yung Friday. The other day, 23.
23.
Si Labang po, sir, Labang.
Labang.
Thank you very much.
And actually, corroborated by the
Magkapatid, sir.
Follow-up question from Cecil.
Sir, so clarification lang po, other than the confession quote-unquote by Molina Labag, we don't have any clear evidence to link Colonel Pilonia to the crime.
That's right.
So,
Testimonial lang yung ano.
Parang effort yung gagawin sir ng PNP para magkaroon tayo ng concrete evidence. Kasi we believe naman, di ba, na any testimony can be retracted anytime.
Pag-isipan natin.
Sir,
It was corroborated by the two.
Po?
It was corroborated by the two.
By the two.
Yes, dalawa.
Balik. Yung ginawa ni Paul Dave Molina Labang is extrajudicial confession. So nag-confess na siya at the same time, sinabi niya na Pilonia
Was the one who
gave
them orders.
him.
Opo.
And this was corroborated by Villaserna Brothers.
Wala po kayo nakitang connect sa investigation between Felonia and the victim that could possibly lead to...
We are looking into that.
Ian, follow-up question.
General, papaano po kung, hindi po ba, pininta lang nun kay Colonel Pilonia, pero hindi naman siya para magulo lang yung investigation niya. And may behind talaga dito, part ng plan talaga, may isa silang ipipinpoint na isang police officer para doon na kayo mag-focus para makawala na talaga yung totoo. Ano pong take nyo na?
No, siguro, tignan namin ba ito kung yung mga, depende na lang sa makukuha namin mga other evidences.
There seems to be no more questions, sir.
Okay, take maybe a few other matters.
Ian Cruz from DMV Secretary.
General Sindak, bukas po arraignment ni Nabong Revilla, tsaka yung iba pa, si Janet Napoles, dadalhin din mula sa Port Santo Domingo. Ano pong preparation nyo para bukas?
Well, generally, narinig nyo nga yung isang yung DRT. The DRD was here kasi kasama na yun, pinag-uusapan na po yung conference, sa isang conference yung mga security preparations para bukas. For the group here, coming from custodial service, siyempre ang nasa custody ng CIDG, so CIDG ang magdadala. Pero tutulungan sila siyempre ng headquarters support service. At yung the group naman in Santa Rosa will follow the template we have always followed before, yung SAF at saka yung Pro 4A RPSB who has custody of Janet Lim Napoles. Both groups will be supported by their territorial units. The group here will be supported by the NCRPO, particularly the QCPD for route and area securities. The group of Santa Rosa will also be supported by the Police Regional Office 4A and the NCRPO on their way here, as well as with the Highway Patrol Group and the other allied support units.
Anything else?
Ano?
Is there no more questions, sir?
Sir, ako pa, ito yung mga phone-in question ito, no? Sir, sa Japan, nagsalita si Presidente na, yun nga daw, na kulang daw tayo sa mga pulis. Ano bang hakbang natin na, lagi naman na pag-uusapan ito, si Presidente na rin mismo nagsabi niya kailangan na mapataas pa yung performance natin, kailan ba natin matatagdagan talaga yung mga pulis?
Well, patuloy nga po ang pagdadagdag po ng personal strength. Ano po, ang number one, nagpapasalamat po kami sa Pangulo sa kanyang pag-uunawa ng sitwasyon ng pulis kasi nga after martial law or during martial law times, where the PCINP was part of the AFP, where we're about 250,000. Ngayon, yung AFP at PNP halos ganun pa rin ang strength namin. So you see there was no difference whereas the population has already doubled. And he told the public to give the PNP its break in trying to solve the crime situation.
So, paano magkakaroon ng remedy, sir, na madagdagan to? Parang may plano
Yes, patuloy kasi ang aming recruitment. Ang nakita niyo, ang pinakamalaki yung initiative na inano ni DILG Secretary Mar Rojas na ikinors niya sa Presidente na magkaroon ng additional 30,000 NUP na siyang magpupuno ng mga admin and clerical work na dating ginagawa ng police. This will translate then to policemen pushed to the front lines, doing actual police work of patrolling, investigating, and operating against crimes. And then we have the regular recruitment quota, of course, which is about 20,000 every year, all quotas included nationwide. So hopefully with all this put together, in the span of 2 years, we are pwede tayong dumagdag siguro ng halos give or take mga 60,000 policemen on the streets. Our present strength is pegged at 148,000.
Thank you, sir. Pero may last pa pong patanong, pero medyo mahirap sagutin ito, sir. Kasi meron daw, sir, nilalabi daw ng Liberal Party si General Garbo bilang next chief PNP. Pag nagretiro si General Purisa, ano pong take niya dito, sir?
I think we are not in a position to answer that. Sino yung magpulo?
Other questions? Cecil Suarte.
Mike, please.
Yung sa White House, once and for all, ano po ba yung nagpagawa ba ng bago? Nag-renovate ba? Ano po ba talaga ang nangyari? Kasi parang the PNP leadership is not talking about it, pero yung mga ibang quarters are parang releasing statements. So, can we clear the issue?
Actually, for the record, the Philippine National Police did not debate any questions with regard to the White House or the the official residence of the Chief PNP. This is not a personal residence of General Purisima. It is the official residence of the Chief PNP and whoever succeeds the present Chief PNP. So therefore, it does not pertain to a personal matter. And the building is a new one because based on the study of the concerned personnel, renovation is more expensive than building a new one. And it is not true that it is 25 million. It is around, based on estimates, is 12 million. In form of donated materials and services from benevolent persons and organizations. That's it. No cash or no funds, no government funds. I mean, no funds came from the government.
Sir, hindi pa nagkakaroon ng string attached. Whoever is behind this donation might have something, baka later on, compromise yung, ever may involved na.
I think that this is speculation, Cecil. Let us give benefit of the doubt to the persons or the Chief PNP himself or any public official in the person of the Chief PNP. We assure you that the Chief PNP will perform his duties and functions based on rules and regulation. But again, those speculation by the public, it's their opinion, it's their right to say an opinion, but again, on the part of the Chief PNP or the organization, we will just perform our function.
So malinaw po yun, not in any way makakompromise yung pagiging Chief PNP ni Sir because yung kanyang some friendships are generous to give that amount of 12 million, sir.
Yes, I see.
Will you be at liberty to reveal to us sino po yung generous na to at kumbaga po? Ang dami naman yung pera para mamigay sir ng 12 million.
We seek the indulgence of the public, considering that in courtesy with these persons, for the meantime, we'll give you the names in due time. But for the meantime, ang hinihingi lang nila is konting palugit lang.
Sir, kailan po officially nag-start na ginawa yung White House and kailan po matatapos ito?
Actually, tapos na.
Doon na po nakatira sila, PNP.
Yes. Yung dating, yung old kasi is pinahayon eh. Actually, I think ngayon lang yan inayos. Dapat yan matagal na. And to the credit of the present Chief PNP, inayos niya yun because nagkaroon nga ng problema yan, binaha. Of course, hindi lang para sa kanya yan, para din sa kasunod na Chief PNP. Again, sabi ko nga, it is not a personal property of the present Chief PNP. Who will benefit that, of course, his successors and yung mga darating ng Chief PNP.
Thank you, Cecil. Cecil, if I may add lang, we answered these questions many times over before. Nagsimula ito dun sa isang tanong ng isang anchor, sa isang balita, sa isang programa. At si Chief PNP mismo, ang tumuwid, sabi niya, nagpa-renovate daw kayo ng bahay. Hindi namin nirenovate, bago yun. So there was no evading the question. Number two, this is the official residence of the top of the National Police. And this was done, of course, kasi nagkaroon ng parang floodgate repairs, no? na isinagawa doon sa tabi ng office of the quarters ng chief of PNP at tinuloy na nila to a new quarters. So ito ay isang bahay, sabi ko nga, na pinagawa sa loob ng kampo. Hindi naman yan yung tipong pag nag-retire si PNP, pwede niyan tupi yan eh. Itutupi niya tapos iuwi niya. Di ba? Dito yan eh. Nandito at ang maximum utility lang niya dyan is almost maybe a little more than 1.5 years na lang compared to the generations of chiefs PNP who will be chiefs of the PNP who will be making use of it. And it is amazing to note that when the construction was started April, ended around November, transition around December to January, it was occupied January, parang ngayon lang lumalabas yung mga yan. And our responses to the media has not been fairly aired. In fact, kahapon lang, tinanong na ng isang istasyon yan eh. At inuulit-ulit pa rin tanongin, pero tuwing sumasagot naman kami, hindi lumalabas. Yung ibang kwento ang lumalabas. Ano? So, we hope this will be corrected and emphasize of the point that this is not a personal property. It was donated from one organization to another. And yun na po. With all intentions there to improve. And this is only one of the many things that is improving in the PNP.
Sir, any comment kasi apparently the construction of this new building is being used to attack the image of the present PNP chief. So, ano po yung masasabi natin na may sasagot natin ba? Kasi ito yung mga issues, parang lahat ng issue against the PNP chief at present pinafan, and then ngayon may tawag daw yung LP na papalitan siya. So apparently may orchestration na nangyayari to discredit the present PNP chief. So ano po ang masasabi ng leadership?
Sinagot ko yan sa isang istasyon eh. Sabi ko, this, yung mga nangyayari na to, attack or personal attacks to our chief PNP is either outright malicious to downright suspicious. Yun lang yun. No? We cannot blame them because yung sa mga reforms na ginagawa ni Chief PNP, marami din tinatamaan. Lalo na yung mga criminal, mga drug involved sa, especially sa mga drugs, sa aming anti-drug campaign, mga criminal, of course yung mga reforms lalo na doon sa gun control law. Maraming natamaan. And we can understand if there will be certain groups who will attack the person of our Chief PNP. But they will fail.
Recently, nagkaroon tayo ng Presscon na sabi do double to triple yung presence of the police. Pero just yesterday, there was a bus robbery. So are we failing in our effort to address criminalities? Thank you, last na po talaga yun.
Yes, thank you naman. Talagang last na rin pati yun. We will conclude this press conference after this. Let me correct that notion, Cecil. Ang sinabi, ang checkpoint operations, and that is only in Metro Manila. Hindi yung presence actual. Although, ganun din yun, ang suma total presence. So, let's put it in the proper context. Metro Manila is about 38 checkpoint operations on a daily basis. Ang instruction ni SILG during that conference with NCRPO and all their unit commanders ay i-double yan in the next few weeks. Until pagkatapos ng isang buwan, magiging triple na yan. So nasa process pa naman kami. So hindi naman, it is too early to gauge kung nagpe-fail ba yung programang yun. Ito yung sinasabing lambat, at saka yung offline cutoff, at saka yung more aggressive checkpoints na dapat gawin nila in a different way, na hindi siya yung parang very passive. Ngayon mas agresibo na dapat ang checkpoints, but still following the rules and regulations or police operational procedures in setting up checkpoints.
Sir, last question na lang kay Elias. Follow up lang ulit kung sa King's Murder case.
Ay, good.
Kumabol.
Thank you. Welcome.
General Sir, pwede bumalik tayo sa King case ni Richard Limpy. Sir, may binabanggit na may babae, unidentified still, na lumalabas na iniuugnay ngayon kay Colonel Pelonia. Sino tong babaeng ito?
Sino ba yun?
May sinasabi kasi na, may binanggit si Colonel Tanaw sa interview kanina kay Kabayan, kay Noli De Castro, na mayroong babae na iniuugnay kay Colonel Pelonia na posibleng may kinalaman dito kay Richard Limping.
yan ang isa sa mga angle ngayon na tinitingnan namin. At siguro, hindi pa nakarating naman kasi yung report ng dalaw sa akin. Pagdating doon. Latest yan. Kanina lang siguro. So, titingnan na namin ang SITG.
Oh, nabanggit yung kanina sir na business rivalry. Mayroon pong isang angulo na lumalabas na utang. Merong may utang sa negosyo. Hindi masabi, hindi pa masabi sino may utang sa kung sino.
Yes, isa lang yan sa mga angle na tinitingnan namin. Isa sa mga angulo na posibleng maging motibo sa pagpatay sa
Sir, aside from the corroboration of the brothers De La Serna doon sa testimony o sa affidavit nitong si Labang, any other witnesses that would corroborate that?
So far, yun lang ang nasa amin ngayon unahan.
Yung kay De La Serna?
The extrajudicial confession plus the corroborating statement of the two De La Serna brothers.
Sir, how confident are you with that? Kasi posibleng nagsabuatan na yun to pinpoint Pelonia.
It depends upon the appreciation ng kanya. Court.
Sa appreciation na lang po ng court.
Yes, sa amin kasi, yun na yung extrajudicial confession niya in front of the prosecution kung pinapile niya ang kaso. So, hindi naman namin indiktahan yung tao. It's appreciation na lang. We leave that to the court.
Thank you, Edwin. I think that will be all for today.
Last na po.
Last to the
PPP
last.
for po din. Sir, yung pagbuot po ng tracker team na maghahanap daw po sa iba pang co-accused ni Jimboy at ni Senator po.
Yes po, nung simula po nung Lunes, nilaunch na ng CIDG ang kanilang tracker teams upang tugisin o hanapin na ang mga iba pang na-involve dito o nasampahan na ng kaso at may na-issue na ng warrant o arrest na hindi na sumuko o hindi na nagpaparamdam na sila'y susuko. Ito'y in-announce na rin ng Director CIDG at ito'y ikakalat pa yung warrant of arrest sa mga iba't ibang police regional offices para makatulong din ang ating mga line units sa paghahanap ng mga taong ito. Okay?
Okay, so I think that will be all. If you have,
Ambos na lang yung iba.
ambos na natin.